Welcome everybody, Doc here with Eyes Wide Shot Gaming, and in today's video, I'll show you which of the first 3 Descendants you should pick and why. Also, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on all of your first Descendant info. The scene opens up in Albion's headquarters, with Alpha discussing an assignment pertaining to the Ironheart, giving us a rough breakdown of what the mission entails, only to end it on a question: who is going to take this on? Leaving you with the tough decision of which of the initial 3 characters should you pick to start your adventure, fighting off the Vulgus and protecting the people in Albion. We start from the left with Viessa. Her battle concept is simple. She immobilizes enemies with cold air and occasionally freezes them up herself whilst going around the battlefield. She has a wide array of active skills that are only complemented by her passive skill, Ice Sphere, which condenses moisture in the atmosphere around the nucleus circling the body, lowering the temperature. Let's take a look at her active skills. Frost Shards fires an exploding ice beam inflicting damage in the area around enemies and inflicting ice shackle. Frost Road increases running speed and shield, as well as creates ice sheets on the ground where Viessa stands. When enemies come into contact with these ice sheets, they are inflicted with ice shackle. Ice Wave releases an arc of cold air in front, inflicting damage and ice shackle. And finally, Cold Snap creates a snowstorm that explodes over time, inflicting damage and ice shackle on enemies caught within. So she's basically an ice queen, slowing down, freezing, and ice shackling enemies while skating around the battlefield. Viessa is a very solid, all-around debuff character, but this all varies on how she's built or her mods by you. We move over to the middle character, Lepic. With a very rough and heartache-ridden backstory, we look at his battle concept, which only shows us how much hurt he wants to put on the Vulgus with how he subdues the battlefield using his powerful prosthetic right arm and grenade. His passive skill, called Close Call, which is tied to his backstory, gives us the opportunity to survive fatal damage during battle. Now he may be down, but he's not out. In response after Close Call, you have an armada of active skills that dish out something truly nuclear, starting out with his first ability, Grenade, which does exactly what it sounds like, throws a grenade forward at the enemy. For his second skill, we have Overclock. It increases all skill attack and adds a burn effect to Grenade, and Overkill for a set duration. Moving to his third active skill, Traction Grenade, where he throws a traction grenade forward to pull enemies within range. Think of it more as an attraction grenade than anything else. On the last active skill, we have Oppenheimer's Dream, Overkill, which fires a powerful shell at the enemy. The shell is maintained at the landing point for a set period of time, inflicting constant damage. The description does not do it justice, because when opening fire with Overkill, you unleash the power of the sun. Truly a fantastic all-around damage-dealing Descendant to be chosen. Last, but certainly not least, we move to the rightmost of our options and find Ajax, a tanky commander whose battle concept breaks down his role as he leads the team with powerful barriers that protect allies and reflects enemy attacks. His stoic demeanor is a synergetic part to his passive and active skills. Let's take a look. For his passive skill, he has Event Horizon. No, not the Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne horror sci-fi movie, but close. It's his ability to store void energy during battle. For the first active skill in his arsenal of protection, it's Orbit Barrier, where Ajax creates a shield in front of himself. Its durability increases proportionally to the health and defense that Ajax possesses. Next up is Void Walk. It lets Ajax leap into the air and land on the ground to strike nearby enemies to damage as well as stun them. It can also be used as a nifty way to get out of a situation where you're cornered. Ajax's third skill, called Expulsion, isn't a phone call from your school, but an expulsion of the void energy he stored throughout the battle, allowing him to strike nearby enemies and knock them back. Lastly, his fourth active skill, Hypercube. You can either buy it on Amazon for $250, or you can have Ajax create a dome-shaped shield, which again has its durability increased proportionally to his health and defense. The choice between the 3 is difficult. Not because you won't get the opportunity to engage fights with void intercept bosses or the Vulgus foot soldiers using the other Descendants, but because this will be your first Descendant. This is the one who will help you pop your cherry by popping a high caliber round through an enemy's head. Each of the three have their pros and cons, but ultimately the decision will be dictated by your playstyle and your playstyle alone. We don't have any new info on the exact release date aside from summer 2024, a time frame we received in the latest trailer that we saw during the Game Awards of 2023. As someone who has invested an obnoxious amount of time and unlocked all of the Descendants during the beta, I am itching to open up the game store and see this title under games coming soon. Ecstatic is not enough of a word. The silence that will wash over us when we open up the full game for the first time will be the result of the pure awe emitted from these potent pixels, letting us have revelations of the magnificence that is the first Descendant. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and until next time, so long.